The Triplex red light therapy panel from CytoLED is one of those panels that's like an also ran. Nothing really jumps out saying, oh my god, this is amazing. One upside though is that these guys are based in the Netherlands and they have warehouses in the Netherlands and also in the UK. So if you're in that area, then yeah, you definitely may want to consider it. Hey guys, Alex here from alexfergus.com, and today I'm reviewing the CytoLED Triplex red light therapy panel. What I'm going to be doing in this video is using all my meters, my spectrometer, my EMF meter, sound meter. I'm gonna fire up this panel, see what it's like to run. I'm gonna give you all the key features, everything you need to know. If you've seen any of my other red light therapy videos, red light therapy review videos before, you'll know exactly what the process is. If you haven't, check them out below because I've reviewed pretty much all the main red light therapy panels on the market now. I've also got another video where I go more behind the scenes and explain my rationale and testing methods, so you can check that out. But otherwise, what we're going to do today is we're going to look at price, we're going to look at performance, we're going to look at EMF levels, safety, we're going to look at operations, we're going to compare it to other panels within the CytoLED product range, and also how this panel compares with its competitors in the market. Okay, so first things first, what do you need to know about CytoLED and this panel? Well, CytoLED, a unique company. I mean, they've only been around, or at least I've only been aware of them for a few years. I wouldn't say they're a dominant player in the red light therapy space, but they do have quite a sleek website, and you know, I'm seeing their name pop up here and there in emails and Facebook groups and whatnot. So they're obviously doing something right. Their product range is quite broad. They do have a lot of panels, everything from really small panels through to quite large panels. This Triplex being, I think it's called Triplex, Triplex, being more in the middle. It's what I class as a body panel with 210 LEDs. I tried to do a bit of digging around the company and I couldn't find that much information. They say they're like, it's operated by a team of you know, people all across the world, but I noticed that they have a warehouse in the UK and the Netherlands, and all their shipping and everything obviously is coming out of those centers. So it looks like it's more orientated to the European crowd and less the American crowd, but they are still shipping internationally to America, and we'll touch on that soon. So that is cool. Product wise, well, first impressions, it doesn't look like there's anything totally new there. Like, it's all pretty standard sort of red light therapy panel stuff. And again, we'll flesh all this out in detail in this review. So first things first, this panel sells for $1,186 US. The guys from CytoLED have given me a discount code to share with you guys, and that code is ALEX, A-L-E-X, and that will save you 10%. So that's quite a good saving. Typically we see 5%, every now and then we see a 15%. So 10's a good saving, so thank you very much, CytoLED. This brings the price down to $1,068 US. It's slightly above that $1,000 sweet spot, you know, the $1,000 price point that I'm always saying it's good if a panel can be under that price for a body panel, I mean. But still, $1,068, it's a good price. Interestingly though, is when you look at the shipping costs, it does jump it up a little bit. So I went for a shipping quote to a UK address and it was about $84, $85. I believe it's the same price if you're shipping to an EU address. When we looked at international addresses such as America and Australia in this instance, both of those quotes came out to be $155. So that is a little bit up there. I mean, when you compare it to some other companies like Platinum LED, their international shipping's only $80, Mito Red $120, and we've got companies like Solbasium and Rug that do free international shipping. So, you know, $155 to get it to the US, you know, like I said, it is up there. But again, if you're in the UK, then you may be more attracted to this panel. But again, you're still got to pay shipping even to the UK. So, all right, let's move on to the look and feel. So initial impressions, yeah, it's another red light therapy panel. Nothing really pops out, pretty standard design, white metal paneling. We've got that slight edge on the side, which I have seen before with another panel. I can't remember what it was. Maybe it was the Solbasium optics. On the side here, we've got the air vents, which again, standard sort of stuff. On the back, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fans. And the master power switch and the power point plug in the middle there, which is better than being at the top, though ideally would be on the bottom. We've got rubber feet, about 1 inch thick. It doesn't have modular support. There are some holes at the top, but that is for the metal chain, for the metal clips that screw in, but there's nothing at the bottom. So you can't actually stack another one of these on top, which is a bummer. On the other side, we do have the control panel, rather basic, but you know, it's got a little bit of branding there and stuff. So, like I said, it's just your typical red light therapy panel. So other than the panel, what comes in the box? Well, again, it's all your standard affairs. It's what we see in most red light therapy panels these days. We've got some goggles, eyewear, the pulley system, so you can adjust the height, the standard door hook that we see over and over again, the metal clips, which screw in on the top, the power cable, which is plugged in at the moment, and then this, which is a link to your manual. Thank you for your order. Your manual can be found at website address. If you've got any questions, email us. Yeah, that sucks. That's boring. That's plain. It's dumb. It's a bit of a letdown. I've gone into this before in many of my videos, so I don't really need to repeat myself. But really, like a couple pages at least. If you've never used red light therapy before, and this is all you get, you know, it's always nice if you get a few pages to at least give you a heads up how to use it, recommended protocols and all that. There was a second one of these with some French writing on it, so that just shows that, yeah, like they're obviously focusing more on the European EU sort of market than America. As for warranty and returns, they have a 2-year warranty period on this panel, and I couldn't find out what their return policy was, I'm sorry. Okay, so next up we're going to look at power and performance. For that I use my spectrometer and my ruler, which I just dropped, and we do a bunch of testing. So before I do that, let's run through the key features you need to know about this panel. It's got 210 3-watt LEDs, and these LEDs have a beam angle of 30 degrees. The CytoLED Triplex only uses 660 and 850 nanometers. You can alternate between them, but there's no multi-wave technology in this, and there's also no pulsing or anything like that. First things first, we'll look at what wavelengths the LEDs are putting out, and if they are putting out the 660 and 850 as advertised. And then secondly, we'll do all the irradiance testing. Let's get into it. Okay, so I've just tested the near-infrared wavelength, and you can see the peak is actually closer to 855. It should be 850. I mean, this is quite common. We do see discrepancies. When it's only a few points like that, it's not end of the world. What I do with my reviews and all the data I put in the red light therapy data sheet, I round it to the nearest 5 nanometers. So in this case, it'll go to 855. Remember though, like, you're still getting a heap of energy. If I scroll over to 850, which is about there, you're still getting a ton of energy at your 850 mark. You're just getting more at 855. What's unusual here is this slight little second peak, or it's not really a peak, but yeah, there's a lot of energy coming down the bottom here, and there seems to be 2 little humps there. Well, a second little hump. So that's interesting. What I'm going to do now is test the red light. Alright, and that is done, and yeah, so the marketed wavelength is 660, and we're seeing 658.5 as the peak, so yeah, that's bang on 660. So all good there. Let's go test the irradiance now. Alright, so the irradiance numbers are in, and I have them here. They're decent numbers, but definitely not chart topping. So for peak power, peak combined power, or irradiance, it was 64.6 milliwatts over centimeter squared. For the peak red, we had 41.6, and for peak near infrared, 35.9. The average over 9 spots was 54, and the total power output across the panel was 78.6 watts. Now remember, I publish all this data in my red light therapy data sheet, which I'll put a link to below, and I also will be using this panel and comparing it with all the other panels that I've tested this year in my 2021 body panel comparison review. If you're watching this, I would have published that video already, so I'll put links to that below. But those 2 resources are the best place to go if you want to see exactly what these numbers mean and how they compare. Though later on in this review, I will be comparing this panel with a few of the other popular panels in the market. So we'll get back to the numbers then. What I'm going to do now is do the hotspot test. We're going to turn it around and see if there is that polka dot effect with the panel. And then we're going to look at the wattage draw, and we're going to move on to some value calculations. Okay, so we have the panel 6 inches from the wall. Now I have the red light and the near infrared lights going. Because these are single LED, single diode LEDs, you can see quite a big gap in between the red lights, because this is obviously where the near infrared lights are in between this. As I move the panel away, obviously you do get a little bit more blurring, blending, sorry, but that's quite far back. I'm at least 12 inches there. As we get closer, it does get a lot more pronounced. Now, I played around with the camera settings here to try and get a good representation of what I'm seeing on the screen here. So ignore any color distortions or anything like that. It is a very red light. It's just more that the I'm trying to look at the hotspot. So yeah, unfortunately there's quite a strong hotspot effect on here, polka dot effect. So it pretty much means you're not getting as much light through these gaps here. But through the red, even though it's quite strong, they're all close together. So I guess I have to give that, I don't know, a 1 or a 2 out of 5. It is quite bad. And lastly for this round, we have the wattage figures. We had a total draw of 624 watts. Near infrared only was 295 and red light was 337 watts. So now we've got all this data, we can do some value calculations. I do 2 calculations here, $1 per LED and then also $1 per total watt output. Now for the price figure here, I actually use the discounted figure, so that's after using discount code Alex, because I figured, hey, like you're going to use that discount code anyway, so we may as well use that price for the comparisons. So the CytoLED Triplex comes out with a $1 per LED of $5.10. That's not too bad. I think the lowest I've seen to date is about $3 or $4, and I've seen prices up around $9. For instance, the Juve is $9 something per LED. The main figure I like looking at though is the next one, and that's the $1 per wattage output. This particular panel had a figure of $13.60. That means it's costing you $13.60 to get 1 watt of output. To put this in perspective, ideally for the top of the range panels, you're looking at figures below 10, though low teens is pretty good. I have had some panels up in the 20s, so this isn't the worst, but you know, it's not great either. Okay, so I have my Cornet EMF meter here. What I'm going to be doing is testing this panel for magnetic, electric, and microwave fields at both 3 inches and 6 inches. I'll get into it right away. Now, there was no detectable electric field at 3 or 6 inches, so that's great. There was no microwave field either, so that's also great. When it came to the magnetic field though, there was a little bit when I got up into the 3-inch range. At 6 inches, we were safe in the green, no issues there. At the 3-inch mark, it was 0.3 microteslas, which is in the orange range. Not ideal, but again, that is at 3 inches, and it's kind of standard. Again, it's not great. There are panels that are better, but it's definitely not super concerning. When we looked at flicker, there was no detectable flicker with these LEDs, which is good news. And then we looked at sound. I used my decibel meter here at 6 inches, and it came out pretty much bang on 50. I think it was 50.1 decibels, which is quite a low figure. I think there's only 1 or 2 that have been below 50, so that is good news. All right, next up we're going to look at operation. So come around here and we'll have a look at the control panel. I'll run you through it and talk you through operation. Okay, so when it comes to operating the Triplex, it's pretty simple. We put the power cord in the back, turn the master switch on, and unfortunately this is one of those panels that starts running automatically. At the top here we have the time. Now it's defaulted to 10 minutes. I'm not too sure what this little symbol is here. It defaults to 10 minutes. Down here we have 3 circles. What's interesting is this one on the left is actually a infrared receiver port. So I don't recall seeing a remote that came with this, but I wouldn't be surprised if you could use a remote with this unit. So that's interesting, unless it's something else. No, it's not a button. Then we've got 2 LEDs here, 660 and 850. I've never seen that before. Usually we see red and near infrared, not the actual wavelength. So that's kind of cool. They obviously glow when those LEDs are selected. So we come down here, we've got these 4 buttons. The top one is power. Sorry, the top one is time. Actually, no, I don't know what the top one is. It's something related to that clock. It changes it from what looks like to be an N to that L type shape. Anyway, we'll move down, we'll come back to it. This one here is your wavelength selector. So if I press it once, you'll see that the 850 light turns on. I press it again, 660 comes on, press it again, both of them. Now that's actually your start-stop button, effectively, because you're just selecting between what wavelengths are running. At the moment, none of them are. Press it once, 850, press it again, 660 only, press it again, and you get both of them running. And you can see faintly, you can see here that these LEDs are lit up. So that is good. I always like it when there's a clear way to tell if 850 is going, because of course your near infrared wavelengths are invisible. So we're going to turn that off for now. The plus and minus is simply adding time. These buttons aren't the nicest buttons, but I have had worse. The worst being probably the light path LED panel. I know I always refer to it, but it was pretty bad. So you can go up to 30 minutes and down to 1. Again, I'm not too sure what that timer does. So let's start it at 1. I think 1's a countdown. Yeah, I don't know. This is where if there was a manual here, I could quickly refer to that. I should probably go online and download it. But anyway, overall, it's an okay control panel. Definitely not the best. Probably slightly subpar, just a little bit confusing there, but hey, it's not too complex, so it's all good to know. Okay, and feedback from using this panel, well, like I said, I don't have much real world use with it, but as you can see from the control panel there, reasonably straightforward. There's no issues with the sound, there's no like irritating whir or anything like that, it's not too loud. EMF is all good as well, so there's no dramas on that front. One downside though was the cable's only 5 foot long, which is on the shorter side. It means depending on where you're positioning this panel, you're probably going to have to use an extension cord unless there's a power plug right there. I was just hanging this from the wall using these metal cables that screw in on the top. Like I said earlier, there's no stands for this panel, but I wouldn't be surprised if you could use a stand from another company because they all seem to have similar sort of setups on the back. Okay, so when we're looking at the CytoLED lineup, we see that yes, they've got some smaller tabletop handheld sort of panels, but they've got 3 larger panels. Now they've got their duplex, which is 140 LEDs, the triplex, which is what I have here with 210 LEDs, and then their really large pentaplex with 350 LEDs. Obviously the triplex in the middle, $1,000, just over $1,000. If we drop down to the duplex, we save a couple $100, $810 after discount, but you only get 140 LEDs. If you go bigger, you're spending nearly $2,000. The retail price is $2,000, so you bring that down, save 10% with discount code Alex, comes down to $1,800. Funny thing is the price per LED, because the spec wise they're all pretty much standard, right? The price per LED is pretty much identical across the board. So there's no real incentive to go bigger. Of course, there is incentive from a performance and functionality point of view, but from a price saving point of view, there isn't. But one thing to keep in mind though, the Triplex doesn't support modular capability. You can't hang another one beneath this or clip it on top or next to it. So if you are wanting a larger treatment area, then yeah, maybe you reach out for that pentaplex. I also noted that there's a stand available with that pentaplex as well, which wasn't available with this. Before you rush out and make a decision within the CytoLED range, it's important to compare this product with other panels in the market from other companies. So let's look at that now. If you're living in the States, you're probably not going to bother with a CytoLED panel, simply because you've got to pay about $100, $150 extra to get this panel shipped there. Whereas there's a lot of companies out there that ship directly from the States and offer free shipping. So for instance, you have Platinum LED, Mito Red, and Lightpath LED. They all offer free shipping to USA. Also, those 3 companies I just mentioned all have panels that have higher peak power figures than the Triplex behind me. So even if you're in the UK or the European Union, you may still want to look at those other companies because you can get more power from them. And the other thing is those other companies all offer panels that have multi-wave technology. So yes, you get your 660 and 850, but you also get things like 810, 850, 630 nanometers. Every product, every company has a slightly different blend of light. But if you are into those alternative wavelengths, then yeah, again, that's one thing that CytoLED doesn't offer. Those other companies also have functions such as nice touch screen control panels. They have longer warranty periods, 3 years compared to the 2 years over here. They also have really good EMF levels, and they come in at a better price point. So for instance, we had a $13.60 price per wattage output with this Triplex panel. You could get the Mito Red Pro, which has a $8 figure. You know, not quite half, but it's a big saving compared to the Triplex behind me. So if you are in the UK or Great Britain, then yeah, maybe you do want to consider this. Not necessarily from a price point of view though, because even the Biomax, for instance, from Platinum LED, it only costs $80 to get it shipped to the UK. And then there's companies like Solbasium and Roog, which offer free international shipping, and their panels are under $1,000, right? So I guess The main appeal though, if you live in the UK or Netherlands where these guys are based, then you know you're dealing with a local company, so local time zones. If you've got support issues, if you do have to send it back, whether you change your mind or there is a warranty issue, you know it's going to not be a great expense. Whereas if you got like a Biomax and you had to send that back, for instance, you know, you may have to fork out $100 in freight, right? So that is, I guess, the one big appeal to CytoLED. But otherwise, when you're looking at it from a price point of view, from a power point of view, from a warranty point of view, from a design and functionality and feature point of view, there's nothing here that really stands out. There's nothing that's like, oh my God, that's amazing, I need this. Because pretty much across the board, you can get more power, more bells and whistles, better warranty, better design. You know what I mean? So yeah, if you're in the Netherlands or close to it, then definitely consider CytoLED. Otherwise, I don't know, check out some of my other reviews, check out my red light therapy data sheet, check out my comparison series, and see what else is out there. Okay, so before I do my concluding thoughts, let's go through what I do like and don't like about the CytoLED Triplex panel. One good thing about this panel is the sound. It is very, very quiet. We had a decibel reading of 50.1 decibels. Only one panel that I believe to date has been under that 50 decibel reading, and that was the Solbasium Optics 180. Funny thing is, I think those panels are very, very similar design wise. But the thing is with the Solbasium Optics 180, and I'll put a link to that in the show notes below, that offers multi-wave technology, so you get a few more wavelengths in there, you get a better warranty period, 3 years. It's actually cheaper and you get free shipping as well. But it's a little bit smaller. It's only got 180 LEDs compared to 210. So maybe it's not the same panel, but anyway, they've got similar sound outputs. But back to the Triplex. So the other thing I like about it is the fact that they're based in the Netherlands, and they've got a warehouse in the Netherlands and also in the UK. Like I said in the intro, we haven't seen many panels from that part of the world, or at least shipping from that part of the world. Most of them are shipping from the States or out of Asia. So yeah, I mean, that is going to be attractive to people that live in that area. Next up, it is on the plus side. The power is good, though it's not the best. But you know, hey, I have seen panels with much lower readings, so I got to give them a point there. As for things I don't like, well, firstly, there's no modular support here, so you can't get another one and add it on. The design and functionality is okay, but it's nothing special. The other bummer is the shipping costs. Even if you're shipping it to the UK, you're still spending, I think it was about $80 or so to get it shipped to your door. If you're going outside of the UK and outside of Europe, then you're looking at about $150 plus the time, you know, 2 weeks or so to get it to your door. And then of course, import duties and all that. So again, it's not the best for people outside of the European area. The 2-year warranty is a bit of a blow given that there's 3 and now 5-year warranty periods. So Red Light Rising, who are based in the UK, they offer a 5-year warranty on their Advantage series. Quite expensive, but still 5 years is pretty awesome. Only 2 years on this panel, so yeah, not great. There's no real standout features on this. There's nothing that really jumps out saying, oh my God, I need that. You know, Juve Solo, for instance, has Bluetooth and ambient mode. The Biomax, the new Biomaxes, they have a touch screen and you control the intensity of the light output. There's nothing like that in the CytoLED range, which is a bummer. Finally, it was a bit of a letdown that there was no manual included with that, and you also can't get any stands with this panel. So just little things that, you know, just make it a little bit limited, I guess. And things that you would like to see, such as a nice manual, yeah, you don't get it. Especially when you are above that $1,000 price point. Remember, we can get some really good, high-powered, really nice panels for around that $1,000, $1,100 price point. Even below it if you want to go slightly smaller. So yeah, still be spending over $1,000 after you use discount code Alex and not get all those extra things, bit of a blow. And that's kind of where I sit when I come to my concluding thoughts. Really, in a nutshell, there's better options out there, whether it's better power, better warranty, like I touched on earlier, okay? So I don't really need to repeat myself here, but hey, look, hopefully this video has been beneficial to you. So maybe you weren't aware of this company, or maybe you were curious about it, or you heard some good things, and you know, this review has helped make you a little bit more aware of it and how it works. Either way, if you have enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. If you want to check out any of my other reviews, whether it's a red light therapy company or other gadget, check them below. And if you do want to see more videos like this in the future, be sure to hit subscribe. I'm going to leave it there, and until next time, we'll see you later.